So, what's going on, internet world, YouTube, Facebook, wherever this video goes, if it goes anywhere. Coming to do a video that I wanted to do for a while, like to be exact, like almost 10 years I wanted to do this video. But I just never did because I was in a position where I literally couldn't, and I just wasn't ready. And I feel like I've been ready for a couple years, but now I feel like I'm at a point where yeah, I'm ready now. This video is pretty much to share my story. Everybody has a story. Some people have multiple stories. I'm one of those people. I have multiple stories, but I'm speaking of the story that ultimately, the story that's most prominent in my life, and it ultimately made me who I am today. And that story is my accident, the most obvious story I have. But pretty much 8 years ago, it was just 8 years ago, last month, September 28th, 2007. I'll never forget that day. I had gone to school, I had just started my sophomore year of high school, maybe almost 3 weeks before that. And, I had gone to school, my father had went to work, my mom went to my grandmother's house and things like that. And, we went to school like normal. School got out. I remember, telling my friends oh, I'll see you on Monday, and that sort of thing. And I walked home. Once I got home, we lived in an apartment building. Once I got home, I got to the front door, and from the outside there was this weird smell. And kind of okay. And so when I opened the door, it was whoa. What the heck is going on? Hit me like the freaking wind. This smell. And oddly enough, even though I'm what the heck, it never occurred to me that I shouldn't be smelling this smell at all, and I shouldn't be smelling it as strongly as I am. And that smell was gasoline. But like I said, it never occurred to me, and I still don't know why. But anyway, I had come home from school. It'd been a long day, a long week, and I was hungry, so I was gonna make something to eat. And so I went over to the stove and turned the knob to turn it on. I remember it was the front right eye on the stove. And so I turned it on, made the normal tick-tick sound that, all gas stoves make. And then I'm okay, what the heck is going on? There was no flame. And in that split second that I thought that, whoosh, and yeah. The stove exploded. It literally exploded as I was standing there. Such a strong explosion. What I didn't know the magnitude of the explosion. It was told to me, afterwards. Only thing I saw was a bright orange flash, and came towards my face, and I'm like this. And then when I turned back, I was against the wall. Because our kitchen was kind of like, what do you call it? Like a galley kitchen, sort of. You come in, walk into it, you walk out. And then when you come out of the kitchen, the front door was right there. And so I was at the stove, it exploded, and I literally flew. The explosion blew me out of the kitchen to the wall, and I was looking up at the front door. Yeah. So what I found out, well, it was obvious to me anyway, but what I found out was that there was a gas leak, a very large gas leak in our apartment, and me turning on the stove was kind of like lighting a match in thin air. The same thing could have happened if I had flicked a match. The same thing could have happened. And you know, so much gas in the air, me turning on the stove ignited and the stove exploded. I'm looking through the kitchen, the oven door was down, flames shooting out, flames shooting towards the ceiling. And it was immediately, I thought, like, I have to get out of here. And so I literally reached up, had no feeling in my hands for that matter, reached up, unlocked the door, and I walked out into the hallway. To speak back on the magnitude of the explosion, I was told, you know, not only me blowing out of the kitchen, but I was told, you know, that our front windows blew out. And, you know, glass was literally falling on top of cars that was driving by in front of the building. Our kitchen chairs were, you know, in the trees across the street. So yeah, you know, that lets you know how big of an explosion it was. But anyway, got up, walked out into the hallway, was looking down at my pants, was shredded, you know, my clothing and everything. My hands was hurt and, you know, had burns on them. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell just happened? Like, it hadn't registered with me yet. I was in such shock. And I immediately was like, somebody help me. I was in such shock. Mind you, less than a foot away from me, this apartment is blazing in flames right next to me. And I'm still standing there. But less than a minute after that, there was a man, I believe a fireman or somebody, a man, was coming up the back stairs and was like, oh my God, you got to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. Took me down the stairs, and, you know, I was in the back of the building, and he had me sit on the ground. And me being a teenager that I am, my initial question to him was, is my hair gone? Like, that should have been the least of my concerns. But yeah, he called the ambulance. Maybe, time was kind of like a blur. I'm thinking back, it was maybe like 5 minutes, and then ambulance came, and I was on my way to the hospital. Yeah, it was actually in the newspaper. It was on the news, which is how my family found out, because my mother was at my grandmother's house in Gary, and well, of course, the EMT called my mom while I was in the ambulance and things like that, and everybody's freaking out, and everybody's rushing to the hospital, blah blah blah. But pretty much, I found out that I was burned over 50% of my body, with like 85-90% of those burns being 3rd degree. Sustained most of my injuries, obviously, to my face, because, you know, the explosion hit me in my face. My hands and my legs, which you can't see. And then there's, you know, minor little scars here and there. I was hospitalized I think like 3 months. You know, I had months of therapy and recovery, long road to recovery. But pretty much here I am 8 years later, and I'm okay. The most traumatic thing that has ever happened in my life. I don't think anything that, I encounter, anything that happens will compare. As traumatic as it sounds, I'm so thankful that it happened. And that may sound kind of weird, but I'm so thankful that it happened. Because, like I said in the beginning, it ultimately made me who I am today. Like, it made me who I am today. So much good has come from that. Oh my God. So much good has come from that. It's brought, amazing opportunities into my life. It's brought amazing people into my life. It made me a lot closer with my family. And most of all, I feel like it made me a much better person. And it's not to say that I wasn't a good person before then, but who knows? I believe wholeheartedly that, oh my God, what am I doing? I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I always try to look for the good in situations. And I think my accident helped shape me to think that way. Oh my God, why am I crying? Like, if it wasn't for that, like, oh my God, I can't even think right now. I'm thankful. I feel like there's nothing I can't conquer, nothing that I'm afraid of. It made me a much stronger person. Wow, I can't even, like, my thoughts are like gone. I mean, all I can say is that I'm nothing but thankful and grateful to even be here. Like, I value life so much more because of that, because I could have lost my life at 16. And here I am. I just turned 24 last month, and I'm so appreciative. It's like I said, it's brought me so many opportunities. Like, I just spent a month in Australia, this past summer. Like, I could never have dreamt of being able to do anything like that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm nothing but thankful and grateful that this happened. It's brought so many great things into my life, so many great people. And it's made me much more appreciative of life. And, I believe in living life to the fullest. And, I feel like I was given another chance. I was reborn in a way. And that's all I can do. I'm just going to live my life to the fullest because I've been given a chance to. Anyway, I'm going to just cut it here. I hope this video can reach somebody and, help them, let them know that it's okay to be different, because, like, what's normal anyway. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to just freaking live your life. Like, don't be afraid. Don't let things hold you back. Like, just live and, you know, accept your differences, whether you're a burn survivor or you have a disability, or if, I don't know, if you like something that other people don't necessarily like embrace difference, because honestly, being normal is freaking boring. Just be you, do you, live your life, and don't let things hold you back, and ultimately be appreciative and keep moving forward. That's all I gotta say. My mind is going crazy right now. So, yeah. Anybody has any questions? I'm open to questions, positive or negative. And, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Till then, peace.